Multiple global pestilences threaten to spiral completely out of control, Michael Snyder reports. Do you remember the nightmares that we experienced in 2020 and 21? Nobody wants to go through anything like that again, but right now, multiple pestilences are raging all over the planet, and one or more of them could potentially spiral completely out of control. For a long time, I've been warning my readers that we have entered an era of great pestilences. Humanity's ability to manipulate diseases greatly exceeds humanity's ability to control diseases. And as you read this, scientists all over the world are monkeying around with some of the most dangerous bugs that humanity has ever known. This is a recipe for disaster, and it is only a matter of time before we experience crisis far worse than anything that we went through in 2020 and 21. In recent months, I've been keeping a very close eye on the bird flu. And it has already killed hundreds of millions of birds around the globe, and now it's infecting mammals on a widespread basis. One expert that has been monitoring the bird flu for decades says that what we are witnessing right now is extremely worrying. McIntyre describes the spiraling infections in animals as being unprecedented and says that urgent surveillance is needed to monitor whether H5N1 begins spreading between pigs or ferrets, animals which have a similar receptor profile to humans. I have been following H5N1 since 1997, and the current situation extremely worrying, McIntyre says. In the past, H5N1 epidemics in birds were sporadic and would die down after culling of infected poultry. Since 2021, the pattern has changed, and it has not gone away but steadily increased. And in this time, many new mammalian species have been infected. Some may be suitable genetic mixing vessels to create a human pandemic strain, she said. As long as it was just spreading among birds, H5N1 was not a major threat to humans. But now cattle all over the US have been catching it. In fact, cases have been confirmed in 21 herds in 7 different states. The H5N1 bird flu virus has been found in a dairy herd in North Carolina, said State Agricultural Commissioner Steve Troxler on Wednesday, making it the 7th state in a little over 2 weeks to report infected cattle. We have spent years developing ways to handle HPAI, that's highly pathogenic avian influenza, in poultry, but this is new, and we are working with our state and federal partners to develop protocols to handle the situation, he said. So far, USDA scientists have confirmed bird flu in 21 herds in 7 states. Texas has the most, 9, and Barron's magazine said Texas officials believe the number of infected herds is much higher. The Texas Agricultural Department said on March 25th that a mysterious disease that has been working its way through the Texas panhandle had been identified as HPAI. Texas State epidemiologist Dr. Jesse Monday said that 40 dairy farms had reported cows with symptoms of the mysterious disease, said Barron's. And now that H5N1 has jumped from birds to cows, it will also jump from cows to will it jump from cows to humans is the question. One dairy worker in Texas has already been infected, and the CDC is telling state health officials to prepare for more human cases of bird flu, quote unquote. State health officials have been told to prepare for more human cases of bird flu amid fears the virus could jump to people. CDC officials issued the warning on Friday, urging state leaders to have up-to-date operational plans in place in case more farm workers test positive for H5N1. Do they know something that we don't? We need to keep a very close eye on this because H5N1 can have a death rate over 50% in humans. Meanwhile, Mpox is back with a vengeance. In one area of Africa, the number of confirmed cases had tripled compared to the same period of time last year. In #DRC alone, more than 4,500 cases of Mpox and almost 300 deaths have been reported this year. That is triple the number reported at this time last year. The recent surge in cases and deaths among children is of particular concern, along with the re-emergence of Clade 1 in Central Africa. And here in the United States, the number of confirmed cases has doubled compared to the same period of time last year. Mpox cases appear to be rising in the United States again. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has recorded 656 Mpox cases in 2024 so far, doubling the 2023 figure of 306 in the same period. As of March 30, the states with the most infections were New York, California, New Jersey, and Illinois. This is truly horrifying. It's a truly horrifying disease. Some of the people that have caught it have said it was the worst pain they had ever experienced in their entire lives. At this point, the primary method of transmission appears to be the same as it was during the initial outbreak for the summer of 22. The virus spread through the social network of men who have intimate relations with others during the summer of 2022 with other men, and it still appears mainly being spread through this demographic. Of even greater concern is how rapidly dengue fever has been spreading in South America. It's been reported that there have already been over 3.5 million cases in Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina so far in 2024. Bug spray is out of stock across Argentina as the country confronts its worst ever outbreak of dengue, a mosquito-borne illness that's surged across Latin America amid high heat and heavy waves. Argentina reported 233,000 cases of dengue so far during the Southern Hemisphere summer, about 8 times the number of cases reported during the same week last year, and 161 deaths according to its health ministry. Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina are the hardest hit with more than 3.5 million cases, 83% of which are concentrated in Brazil, according to the Pan American Health Organization. We have never seen an outbreak of dengue fever that even comes close to this. And I was quite alarmed to read that there has ever been a surge in cases there has even been a surge of cases in Mexico. Barbados, Costa Rica, Guadeloupe, Guatemala, Martinique, and Mexico have all seen surges. Barbosa said, dengue is also known as the breakbone fever because of the high temperatures and severe aches it causes. And this is another disease that can cause extreme pain. It is most common in tropical and subtropical climates, and so if you live in such an area, you will want to be very careful. While all of this is going on, the number of drugs that are in short supply in the U.S. has reached an all-time record high. The U.S. drug shortage, halting vital treatment for millions of patients, has now reached an all-time high, according to newly released data. There are currently 323 medicines in short supply nationwide, the most since 2001, when records began. Access to these limited drugs can be the difference between life and death for millions of patients, relying on antibiotics, cancer treatments, injectable diabetes medications, and more. And that is really bad news. At a time when millions of Americans will desperately need it, our system is coming apart at the seams. Multiple pestilences are already spreading all over the planet, and more will inevitably erupt during the months and years that are in front of us. Eventually, things will get so bad that we will long for the relatively tame days of 2020 and 21. And this is by Michael Snyder on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Michael's new book entitled Chaos, available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon, and you can check out his new Substack newsletter right here. About the author, Michael Snyder, extremely controversial new book, Chaos, available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, Commissions Earned. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, The Most Important News, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. You can connect with Michael on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and share his articles on your own social media accounts. It's definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.